welcome everyone. Welcome to the second e-conference of IWRI. We're very proud of it. And I would like to introduce to you the head of IWRI, the director of IWRI, which is Professor Dr. Eliav Ephraim. He's a PhD on he works at the Tel Aviv University of Israel, and he will first give a short introduction about IWRI and will also speak for us about the research on the phenomenon of consciousness on the basis of an integral science paradigm. So please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Inger, for the introduction. I will share my screen. And I will share my presentation. So, hello, everyone. I would like to also welcome you on our second International Scientific Electronical Conference. The title of our conference is Solving the Global Problems of Modernity through Integration in Society, Science, and Culture. And the goals of the conference is the following. First of all, we would like to consolidate the efforts of scholars, educators, and specialists in scientific integral approach in revealing unity of the laws of nature, society, and human development. And the second purpose is just to ensure the proper ways of strategic development of society and harmonization of social ties, relationships, development of the integral methodology and approaches for education and management. In particular, in our very complicated time of the epoch of global crises caused by the pandemic disease. We have 20 speakers, presenters from almost all corners of our world, from Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, and we hope that during our next electronical conference, which will be after half a year, we will have representatives of the all six continents, including Australia and South America. So the lectures that we will hear during our conference, they are from all different kinds of specialities. We have scientists and university lectures, both from the humanitarians and the natural science fields. We have engineers, business entrepreneurs, clerks, medical doctors, journalists, artists, students. And we expect that there will be about 20,000 social media links to our conference via our broadcasting channels, I mean the YouTube and the Facebook channels. Now I would like to just describe to you what is the integral scientific worldview that our institute is trying to develop and to implement. The scientific worldview is based on the three actually basic points. First of all, we are trying to develop the scientific paradigm, which is based on the worldview that our world is integral, our reality is integral. It means that it is interconnected, interdependent, casual, purposeful, and synergetic. And I will talk more about this point during my special presentation. The second point is that we're trying to develop in practice in our institute so-called integral and collective perception of reality, And I will also give some short explanation what it is during my talk. And the second point is that in the third last point is that we are trying to develop integral forms of education and social management based on these two uh, paradigms. And now I would like to proceed to my scientific presentation, which is called the problem of consciousness on the basis of the integral scientific paradigm. So from my very childhood, I actually started to ask questions concerning the outside world and especially about the consciousness. The hard child questions are the following. What is the world like? What it is made of? Why and how people are feeling and thinking? Who am I? What are my mind and my brain? How they are connected? What is consciousness? Why people hate and love? And actually, I started to think that I need to be a scientist, a scholar, in order to answer to all these questions. Especially, I accounted on chemistry because I thought that it is actually the proper way to investigate the world around me. So, uh, actually, all my scientific career, I tried to answer to these questions, but the questions about uh, our consciousness still cannot be answered. Also, you know that in modern time, consciousness has become a significant topic of the most interdisciplinary research in philosophy, cognitive science, anthropology, sociology, linguistic, biology, chemistry, physics, math, you name it. I mean, almost all scientific discipline try to solve the problem of consciousness, but still there are no clear understanding or even definition of this phenomenon, which is suitable for all the uh, disciplinary. So the problem of consciousness is really hard. And I would like also to quote one of the most outstanding specialists and research in this field, Professor Chernigevskaya from St. Petersburg University, Russia, and she told that the more we study the consciousness, the less we understand it. And it is actually true. So we have a clear need for the changing of the very scientific paradigm in order to really study this phenomena. And what kind of uh, clue we can get from our outstanding scientists if we would like to solve this problem? You know, Albert Einstein told that it is impossible to solve the problem at the same level as it is originated. So you need to be higher. You need to rise in the next level of the same consciousness. He's one of the best friend, Kurt Gödel, and you see both of them on this photo. He just makes some kind of scientific joke. He told about human beings that a handful of atoms cannot fully understand themselves. It means that we really need to rise at least one level of consciousness high in order just to investigate what is our personal consciousness. And there are also some hints that we are getting from nature. How should we investigate this hard phenomenon? And the first hint is property which is called synergy. You know that there are four levels of matter organization in nature. We have still, vegetable, animate, and human levels. Actually, the same pyramid we can draw for the desires, which is actually part of the consciousness. And I will return to this point later. But for the time being, I would like to just make clear what is the synergy on some example of inanimate level on chemistry. You see here the molecule of water, and water is made of three atoms. This is example from chemistry, from my specialty. And we have three atoms which are joining together to organize actually the new unity, the new substance, which is called molecule. And we know that the property of molecule of water is very, very different of the properties of atoms which consist in this, which are combined to organize these molecules. And this is precisely the property of the synergy, when entire system cannot be described as a simple sum of the of its components. And if we go to the more high level, to animal level, then please guess what do you see now? I can show you another picture in order probably to help you. Maybe not, but the answer is very simple. You see actually the very huge anthill. So this is an example when this small, very wonderful insects are building so enormous and large and complex construction, which is similar to the city. They have all the city services there, like we humans have. They have different kind of services, like city cleaning, police, etc., etc., etc. So this is also the example of the synergetic connections of this insect in one unity, which is called the anthill. And is this anthill has consciousness which is actually much higher than individual intelligence of each and every insect which is inside this unity. And if we are talking about the synergy, then we have a very nice quote of Mark Twain, which is called that synergy is the bonus that it is achieved when things work together in harmony. So if we are talking human beings, then I should say that many evolutional biologists and anthropologists, when they're talking about human beings, they also told that the evolution of human beings is not finished yet. And the next step should probably be the same human anthill like we have in the case of ants, because there are many indications that we actually are uh, the same, which that we humans also are super organism, like the super organism as the anthill is. But the point is that we don't know how to organize this human super organism. The evolutionary biologists and psychologists and other specialists, they don't know how to make possible these synergy connections that ants can organize and we humans being still cannot. And we have another hints from nature, how probably we should proceed to these synergy connections between us in order to rise to the next level of consciousness. And this is the symmetry. Actually, our nature prefer two different kind of symmetries. The first is spherical symmetry or circular symmetry, and the second is linear symmetry. This is the two main symmetries in nature, and all different objects in uh, microcosm or macrocosm, they actually explore this symmetry like atoms or molecules. For instance, the molecular structure of DNA that you see now, it has in a combination two symmetries, the circle symmetry and the linear symmetry. And if you're talking about the periodic table of elements, then it is amazing, but probably it will be much better to put it in a circle. In this case, you will see the chemical and physical properties of many elements much more clear, and also interconnections between these properties. But you really can see the round symmetry or circle symmetry or spherical symmetry really in many cases. For instance, this is the elementary particle round box where you can see them in the proper order. If we are talking about our universe, big scale, then the form of planets, of stars, of entire galaxies also have this symmetry. We have many examples from life systems as well. And what about our human beings? How we should explore this clue from nature in order to really make this proper synergetic organization, link organization between us. And here we are coming to the next hint from the point of view of theory of information. You know, we are living in a time when modern picture that physics gives us about our the most fundamental building blocks in nature, as we are thinking about the matter like elementary particles and wave. Actually, physicists nowadays are saying that they are not actually the uh, pieces of matter, but actually They are considered all these elementary objects nothing else but being the special topological or informational structures of vacuum, of nothingness. So we can see that we are living in a very strange world where the matter is and the energy is nothing else but the informational blocks. So we can use this clue also to make some promotion of what we are uh, developing, the integral scientific paradigm, and they use the fundamental concepts in laws in all human knowledge and perception of reality in the terms of information. And if we will use it, then we are coming to the integral paradigm. And I have only a couple of minutes just to show you what it is. So integral paradigm is really use the informational fundamental building blocks for its structure. It builds on the property of integrality. Unfortunately, I have no time to describe it. It is also used to build on the property of resonance structure of the uh, interaction of different informational structures. It is also should use the property of sphericity and linearity in order to be suitable to the most fundamental laws of conservation in nature. And it should be used so-called minimax principle as the foundation of its law of the foundational law of evolution. And the most ideal informational structure to suit all these demands are desires. So the desire should be just formulated as informational structure which is ready for informational exchange, receiving or giving, caused by inadequate informational filling or informational imbalance with environment. And we also need to make some practical application of this paradigm and what our institute is trying to develop is really trying to implement all this paradigm into the perception of reality. So we're trying to develop so-called the common or collective uh, uh, organs for the perception of reality. And what does it mean in practice? So we need to make a special group methodology, which is based on integral education, and all this should be planned and fulfilled in the special steps. We need to develop so-called mutual guarantee and secular network support in our society. We need to work as a team. We need to use roundtable seminars and brainstorming, collective games, joint meals, so-called social activity to practice our methodology. And very, very important, we need to have constant secular discussions about the importance and ways of reaching the common goal, creating a universal human superorganism in the next level of conscious and purposeful human evolution. And this is my last slide, where I am just ensuring you that this level of synergy, of synergetic connections between people should really lead not only to the upper level of consciousness, but to the complete harmony in human society and nature. Thank you very much. And please, probably there are a couple of questions.
Thank you very much, Professor Ephraim, for this wonderful presentation. Indeed, other questions? We don't have much time, but please, if there is a burning question, now's the time.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Yes. Is the Institute going to dedicate special research about the desires, or this will be something common for all the researchers to research desires?
Yes, actually, we are really planning to organize a special research team to devote to this particular question, because if we really want to develop a full-scale theory and implement it in practice, then we need to have very serious scientific investigation, what it is desires and how it functioning in a small team and larger team and all the human society.
Thank you. Are there more questions, please? Okay, well, thank you very, very much. It was extremely interesting.